there any additions or corrections to our agenda? I think Jan, Redding is gonna be on, Zoom tonight. Oh, good. So I guess, is there any corrections or additions?
Okay. Oh, okay. She be on there.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good, yeah. And, everybody turned their mics on, so, is there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Entertain the motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Barb. Is there a second?
Second.
And second by Jason. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Next item, is there any public comment at this time? Well, we'll proceed then. Next item is approval of minutes and the treasurer's report. Approval of minutes, November 10th, 2022. Oh, good. Burn stopped there. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Moved by Bill to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those.
door wouldn't shut,
With the window too.
and the window was compromised.
And the red squirrel removed.
That has been taken care of. We caught 4 red squirrels. And there were only, he was in the basement, he walked around the perimeter, he was on a ladder, he was in the attic, he was on the roof, and he only found 2 small openings where they were getting in the front of the part of the building. And so he put traps right there, 2 of them. And then every time he reset the trap, it's $125. So the first 125 was built into the first bid. Then he's filled up a hole, left 1 of the traps there, caught 2 more in the same trap. And then reset it again, so that's, I have another bill coming for 125, but then he waited a.
Pretty loud. When you're underneath it.
Like we were being invaded, but now it's nice and quiet. So it's all good. Thank you so much.
That's good, Mary.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to approve the bills.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Jason to pay the
Second.
bills and seconded by Bill. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Next item is disturbing township board meetings ordinance.
Recording equipment.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right over recording equipment. Thank you, Marcy. Yeah, recording equipment upgrade and Zoom. Now, we have to look at it, in my opinion, about 3 things I wanted to kind of go over. One was the Zoom license, to go on Zoom. It was $500 per year. I think Marcy did get a license that was quite a bit cheaper, but it wasn't commercial in nature or something. I'm sure Marcy can explain that a lot better than I can. And then there was a question, do we want Zoom? And number 2 I wanted to look at was as far as the postings of the meetings on our website and on YouTube. There is this automatic system you can add to our system that automatically will post the meetings. I know it's been, extra work for Marcy to do that, so I'd save there, but the salesman told me initially it was between $2,000 and $3,000, and today he sent me an email, which I shared with the board. I wanted a formal quote, but he didn't have time to do it, but he said you could have to budget $5,000 for it, so that seemed kind of high to me. And then third thing was I just made all the board members a copy of our policy. And I didn't know with this system whether you wanted to keep the videos more than 30 days. So those were the kind of 3 things. So I had to talk about, but I guess number 1, what's the board's opinion about Zoom and the Zoom license and such?
A couple comments. If I'm not mistaken, we had the board voted on this on April 14th. So to me, it sounds like we're rehashing old business. It included Zoom, all the information that we gathered and delivered to the board between Barb, Dale, and I when we met with Boyce Electric. All the quotes and all the information and all the equipment included Zoom. And even after our meeting with Boyce, we decided as the committee that to make it actually more friendly to the board and the board could use it, we asked for additional funds for a monitor, which was approved on the next month's meeting. So to me, we've already established that we want the Zoom and want the capability of Zoom. We want the capability of the voice and the video recording equipment. And I don't think there's any reason to change it.
I guess the question came up to me when they said it was gonna be an additional $500 a year. And talking with Ken, we have Microsoft Teams, which is similar to Zoom already for free, included with our software license that we have in the office, which is an alternative to Zoom that we could use. That's set up to work with businesses. That wouldn't cost us an extra 500 a year plus and we're already paying a basic Zoom fee. The 500 is for a fancier Zoom.
No, I think it's not fancy, it's protected in the security part of it, and it's the commercial part of it. Right now, we're riding on a free carrier that's open basically to anybody.
Right,
I
because
think
they've been using Ken's Zoom account.
Right,
And then the township got a Zoom account. But then just last week, we heard that it needs to be upgraded to a different version of Zoom.
Room.
That's
Well,
what he called it,
yes, that's what
which
it,
is basically the same thing as Microsoft Teams, which we already have.
I
that we
think
could
when
use.
our original meeting, Brandon did mention to us that it's anywhere from $50 a month to $500 a year for the Zoom, and it's actually the business section of it, because that's where your security is, your protection is, where you can't be hacked supposedly. And that's where he recommended all being done on that, not writing on a free platform.
Well, then my other thought was that I didn't know, I knew we were getting recording equipment to put the meetings on the website. I guess I just wasn't aware that it had to be done through Zoom. And that's what he made it sound like when I talked to him. There's hardly anybody ever on Zoom, so I just didn't know why that we needed to go down that road and have that feature when maybe one person's on there. I mean, Jan's on there now and she says it's cutting in and out and she doesn't know if she's gonna be able to take minutes anyway because she can't hear the meeting. So,
That was one of the reasons we wanted to change equipment. But we already voted on the Zoom part of it, the whole equipment part of it back in April, and the board decided to go that direction. I mean, move into the 21st century here. I mean, we're trying to get rid of the Spartucky here. We're trying to move up to a better class here.
I would agree with Bill on that.
Because I think even in our meeting, Barb, remember we met with Brandon, it was the recommended process was all through Zoom.
Yeah, it was, and I do remember him saying it was between $50 and $500.
month or
That
year.
amount. And I do feel like, God forbid, we ever go through another pandemic. Or that they decide we can all do this from Zoom, purpose.
We have the capability and the technology to do it. We have everything here.
We'd be all set up. And I think right now she can't hear because are we using our new speaker set?
no.
I didn't think so.
Nope.
So as soon as we use the new system, I think we're gonna find
She
that
says
it's gonna be a
working
lot
better now.
cleaner.
She's texting me, says it's working better now.
Okay. Well, that blower doesn't help. But I kind of feel like the Zoom is something that's they're pushing more and more for things this way. I have to tell you, we had a court proceeding that we had to be part of last week, and we had to do it via Zoom. So.
Yeah, that's true. Mike.
Yeah, I think if we spending the money on upgrading the equipment, I kind of feel like we might as well use it, or, make an attempt to anyway.
I'm not saying don't do it. Microsoft Teams, which we already are paying for a software license for to have Excel and Word. We can get without paying an extra $500 a year. And it does the same thing as Zoom does. That was my only concern. Why pay the extra money when we already have software available to us at no cost.
Does that automatically well, that's got
It's
to do
very
with this.
similar
This
to
is,
Zoom.
that's something else, sorry.
From what I gather from when I talked to the guy, he wasn't
Thanks, Rob.
super patient with me and it wasn't a great conversation, but it sounds like he's already set up for Zoom.
Well, that was our original agreement when we met with him. That was our requirements.
It was one of the things we asked him,
We asked him, this is what we want.
yeah.
And he recommended Zoom as the technology and the way to produce and publish and put out on our webpage and in the video recordings and online and now we're going back and say, well, we got this other license we'd rather use. Maybe it doesn't even work for what we wanted to do. I don't know that.
He just said it would limit it a lot. But
I don't think the 500 a year is an exorbitant charge though on this. For this aspect of our system.
I don't either.
You have any comment, Rob?
I don't know, I know he's appropriated the funds, but I kind of like. If you can already get on it with what we have, I like that route too, but
What do we pay for the Microsoft?
It's like $360 a year, but that includes your Word and Excel and PowerPoint. And all those
So that's got
programs.
to do with more of the computer portion of it, correct?
Yeah, it has
Okay.
like several different software functions.
Does that?
well,
include-
is this an annual thing, annual cost then?
Yes.
I mean, if we try and we don't like it, we think we can give it that, we could always go back or.
Yeah, I guess I kind of felt the same. I feel like we should just go with the recommended route. And, if we think it's not providing us anything better than what Microsoft would, we could always look at that next year too.
I think it also provides the storage capability and space for the videos. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was for.
And right now our policy says that we only store them for 30 days. So that was another reason why I was hesitant to pay $500 when that's not what our policy says. If that's what we were paying for was storage.
I
That's
think,
why I wanted it to be a board decision and not Dale saying, Mercy, you need to pay for this decision. Because that's not what our policy says.
Well, regardless of whether we use the storage or not, I guess.
Right.
We still need to do it, I think.
So is there a motion to support us using Zoom at $500 per year?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Bill. Do that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Barb. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And those not in favor, signify by saying nay.
Nay.
So that passed 4-2. Or
5-2.
5-2. 5-2. Well, good. And then another aspect here is this possibility of doing an upgrade to our existing system. That the way I understand it, it would automatically post the meeting right after the meeting on our website, as well as be on YouTube. And when I talked to Brandon initially about this, he brought that up and he said it'd be between $2,000 and $3,000. And then today, as the email indicates, it's we'd have to budget $5,000 for it, but that seemed a little high to me on that. That was my first opinion of that. And, you know,
Did Brandon say how much time it would save?
I didn't get into particulars of that, and then, like I say, I really was hoping that he'd get me a quote, but as you read in the email, he had kind of a rough day, I guess, and whatnot, but,
Dale, I see he's got on here. I should have reception after 5 today. Is there a chance we could call him during the meeting and ask him why it jumped from 2 to 3 to 5?
And also this email references
well, we could try.
streaming the meeting. We don't want to stream our meeting to YouTube and Facebook, right? That would mean it's out
No.
there
No.
live as it's happening. We're
I
not
don't
interested in
think
that.
we need to put it on
No.
Facebook.
I don't either.
I don't
I
know.
think we just, after the meeting, we have the recording available on our website. We
Yeah,
don't need
But
all
I think the technology does that for you automatically. It doesn't really matter where you go with it. I think the streaming part of it just means they have the capability to stream. If we have a carrier like Charter that says, hey, I'll give you the television channel, then you can stream it on our thing.
he did say that we had the option
Mhm.
to stream it on a channel. It
Right.
wasn't something that we,
Cause
Had
there's
to
an
do.
extra port to do all that.
yeah, he did say it was an option, so I think we could not do if we chose to do the YouTube, Facebook thing and just have it go on the website. But if we could reach him by phone, I'd like an answer from him of why he told Dale 2 to 3 and now all of a sudden it's 5.
Well, the salesman told Dale that.
Here's,
I'm not sure he really understands what we want.
if you want to, Barb, I
Yeah.
think you'd be a great individual there to call.
Right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you've met him. And that's a good idea. Pardon me?
I know this isn't time to speak first, just now.
Okay,
If I could.
Yeah. but no,
If I'm a citizen, I would not like to see it being posted. Right now, you are approving the previous meeting for I think the same should be done. I think for the meeting, doesn't need to be something may happen, something may be done. That I think that video should be.
We don't normally approve the video, though. We approve the minutes.
Right.
But-
The minutes are a recording of what happened. As a citizen, I think I would like better.
well, thanks for your comment, Jim. Yeah,
I can understand that, but if you didn't want to come to the meeting, you have the option today to go on Zoom and watch it live.
Right, well, yeah, we can watch it now, that is correct, but I
So-
don't want to see it recorded. Put out there without it. Now, if I want.
Right, you can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can-
I'm gonna give Brandon a call and see if I can't get him on the line.
yeah.
Sorry, there is no one available to take your call.
In your face.
Message after the tone.
Well, that answered that question.
Wait till next
I
month.
heard that.
I guess I think it's too urgent, you know?
No, I guess my concern would be the price is one.
Yeah.
And how much is it really going to save us in time? But I'm not really sure we boiled it down to what it's going to take for us to say, all right, we've recorded all this video. And now I need to get it to our website.
Mhm.
How much time is that? I know in doing it today, it can take a week to a month, so. I don't know, it's not the hours, it's just the availability to get the information together. So,
If I can ask Marcy, do you upload it to the website or do we have it done?
Yeah, I have our web designer. I send it to him. When I get the video, I send it to him. He puts it on there.
Okay, do you review it before you send it to?
I do not.
Okay, so you just send it to the web designer, he uploads it.
she gets it from Ken.
I
Yeah.
get it from Ken,
Okay,
then I just forward it.
okay,
And he puts it on the website.
okay,
I do not know how to do that.
okay.
I have not.
Well, I wouldn't expect that to be part of your responsibility anyway. Okay. That was part of what I was wondering. Well, I would say we could leave this till
Open
next
until-
month.
Right. Because we don't, the
We have
system function,
questions
the system will function fine
without,
without it.
yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
question of how much automation do you want to put into the system? Do you want to put $5,000 or $3,000 so I don't have to push a button and turn a screw and type in help or whatever? I don't know what it is.
Wow.
Or call Ken
gonna
and
be
give it to
rough.
Marcy who calls our web designer, you know, I don't, it might take
Yeah.
10 minutes, but then again, it might take. I don't know how long.
And then next meeting, we will have, the
Them here.
position, our board, you know, at 6 o'clock, this board definitely, everybody's invited to come, and then, also, John Chickering. Our website design, he's gonna be here, and so is Gary Glass. And, our IT guy. And, so, and along with, Brandon White, so.
We could get all of our questions answered right then.
So I think that's
I
probably
think that's a
the
good idea.
time to make that decision, I agree.
Is that gonna be a special meeting starting early like that, since we have
That's it.
forum there?
That's it.
So are we gonna post the meeting starting?
I
It's not the
suppose
meeting, but
we could, depending now, it didn't sound like, I was gonna have a forum tonight, so I didn't. hope so.
I'm not interested in taking the training, but if there's gonna be a forum of board members there discussing decisions that we're gonna make, then I should be there, but if it's just training, I come for that, so
I
if
didn't.
it's just him training, but if you're gonna be discussing and asking questions and things, then I think it needs to be part of our meeting.
Yeah. Well, see, Brandon really didn't wanna do it as a part of a meeting because, he felt it was better for the back and forth and it's showing things and, but I think it can be posted, but it appeared to me why I didn't post it was, I hadn't heard anything from Rob or Jason, whether they were coming. I knew he wasn't there. And Marcy said she didn't know at the time whether she was gonna come or not, and so I thought it would probably just myself, Barb and Bill, so we wouldn't have had it for us. But I'd be glad to post it.
Well, I would think if we could just do the training is what we need to do anyway to know how to run the
Yeah,
system.
right,
And then we can ask him to stay
yeah,
and ask him our questions at our regular meeting.
I like that idea.
I mean, there's no sense in
Beforehand. it's
recording
just the
all
training.
of that training that I would say, let's just do our training, figure out how to run the system. And then
Before the.
before the meeting, and then ask our questions regarding all this at 7 o'clock at the meeting.
Oh, that's why I did put it as first agenda item tonight, you know. 'cause it's
Right.
kinda- so-
But that's what I'm saying is
So
next
do that
month,
again next month.
just do our training at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7.
But would you post that? Post it?
I
I
think if it's just a training, you don't
Training,
have
no.
to, but any discussion and that might lead to a decision to be made has to wait until the meeting.
Oh,
Wait until the 7 o'clock,
okay, that sounds good.
I'm
to me.
sure there'll still be questions while we're going
right?
through.
But
No questions about the
the
training.
type of,
yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
question-
but not whether we're buying something
Right.
else
Right.
or adding
Yeah,
software, yes.
Yeah.
and then I'll ask the professional to stay on until.
Yep.
That first item gets over. Okay,
Mhm.
good. Good. And then the last item was on this was, do we want to keep the videos longer than 30 days? And Barbie may want to give me. that phone.
oh, I could do that.
Have a- important little.
You know what, Dale, I wouldn't worry, I guess I'd wait until next month when we discuss,
Oh, okay,
the other, because that will determine.
okay,
If it's gonna be an automatic upload, then we can discuss it then. I wouldn't bother with it now.
okay.
Just my thought.
Well, any other thoughts, any other board members on that? I
Next
think,
month's fine.
I think in general, we should have posted longer than 30 days myself, but I don't think a year would be too out of line, but we can talk about that next month. Okay, and the next item on our agenda is disturbing township board meetings ordinance. We talked about this last month. And now it's just written in ordinance form. Pretty straightforward. We talked about.
I've been highlighted. So apparently.
I didn't make any notes either, so I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I read through it. I thought it looked good.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Moved by Rob. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bill. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Pass unanimously. Next item is zoning text amendment ordinance. Accessory buildings and uses. Here again is a
I did.
Did you? Okay. Sorry.
so zoning text amendment ordinance. So there again, it's basically, we talked about this, I know before, but it's now being approved in an ordinance form.
I think last time we had a resolution. And we can't put the resolution in our ordinance book. It had to be transferred over into ordinance form. Because we approved the resolution, but it's got to be put in our book and codified, and this is the only way it can be done.
I guess I have a question with D. It says one of the accessory buildings shall not exceed 320 square feet. Why would I have that in there? And
Well-
shall not be 12 feet. And 12 feet in height. What does that even pertain to?
Well, that
Because
pertains
originally you
to
were
a little
allowed-
shed.
A small shed and like a pole building or a barn. And then we decided to make it 3 accessory buildings, so you could have 2 pole buildings if they were small in size. If they were smaller, but and you can still have your small shed. So when that refers to one of the buildings shall not be more than 320 square feet, that's saying one of them still has to just be a small shed. You can't have 3 pole buildings out there.
Well, we already said,
But
they can't be more than 3,520 square feet anyway,
Combined, yeah,
Oh,
was
fine.
combined.
Yeah, but one of them has to be just a small shed.
And this is
One of
on
3.
10 acres or more, so see, before you could only have 1 accessory building. But we had requests for people with these larger acreages they kind of want 2 of them, and so that's how we try to accommodate that.
I kind of find it a little weird too, that we have one of the buildings has to be that certain size when we already have a restriction on how big they can be collectively. I don't know.
Right, I wouldn't care, didn't matter.
Yeah, if they can only have so many square feet altogether, I don't know why you have to designate one should only be this big.
Can only have 3.
Yeah, I must say though, this has been approved before. It just is basically just the correct form. I mean, it was approved in the resolution.
It must be an old one.
I'm just thinking of practically what that means for someone. That. They can't have 3 buildings all the same size to meet the square footage, basically. They have to have one of them be small and the other 2 be the bigger ones.
That's what it's
Right.
saying. So no,
Well, you see, what it used to be though was the maximum size of the accessory building was no greater than 3,200 square feet for 10 acres. So
that's what you made. That hasn't changed.
But see, now you can have a couple of them as long as they're not exceeding 3,520. Some people like a couple buildings.
Right.
So now you can have the 3,200 square feet and a 320 square foot.
That to me seems
Well,
obvious.
you
I don't
get-
know why I'd put it in there, but,
You actually get the additional 320.
Right.
but still goes up to, which would get you to the maximum of 3520.
I think it's just making it more clear. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was in there before, Dale, like this language was,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if some.
The
There
planning
must,
commission,
must have been some reason for it.
yeah,
Right. What was the? Are we changing something in here?
no,
No, this goes back to when it was codified,
Oh,
they
Yeah,
left
Okay.
this section out.
all right,
adding
I
the
get it.
third building, and so they're putting it back in. They thought, when the attorney wrote the other one, he forgot this portion in the new ordinance. So this is just putting something that had already been approved before then, like in 2014 or something like that, back into the ordinance. That's all.
so this is 320. You can probably put one of these small trailer cargo, whatever enclosures on your property, right?
as long as it's
Container?
under.
Containers, yeah, cargo containers.
Oh,
10 by 30. Right,
Yes,
right.
your neighbor's got one, doesn't he? Got 3 of them in his yard. Oh, by your mother's.
Oh, yeah, those are gone. then.
Really?
Yeah. Those would be what, 8 by 40 or something like that? Yeah, 8 by 40, 320. Yeah, that's what they're for containers.
Amazing.
Uh,
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the
Then moved by Marcy to
I'll
approve
accessory building.
the accessory building zoning text amendment ordinance. It's been seconded by Barb. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed signify by saying nay. Pass unanimously. Next item is gonna be quick because we don't have any quotes for the atrium skylight. We just had that one quote that seemed quite high from Boss Glass. And then Gary has been working to get somebody else, give him a quote, a couple other companies, and so far they haven't showed up, but at this time of year, you wouldn't want to do the work anyway on a skylight, so we'll just keep working to get the quotes on the skylight. But we do have information on the atrium remodel, and I think I'll hand it over to Mary Jo now to explain it. And we got a drawing here, so that's okay with you, Mary Jo.
Okay,
Maybe you want to use a mic though, or else,
am I loud?
No,
well, you can't be,
We can't hear you on
The Zoom
Zoom.
meeting.
and the recording.
you're only allowed to us, no one else can.
is the button on?
Yeah, I turned it on. Okay, so this is a drawing from Tom Fry. And I still haven't gotten on paper what it would cost, but I talked to Stephen Klein. He's gonna look at this drawing. He thinks it would be not over 100,000. And then I saw that without my glasses on. And then
I was trying to figure out it's only less than my small shed here.
well, it's, no, but it does come with furniture. What they'd have to do, because there isn't any, it's the existing deck is wood. There isn't any fire, like the sprinkling system or anything in there, so he thinks that that wouldn't be approved. So they'd have to take the existing deck out just on the bottom, the upper deck wouldn't be touched, and put composite down because it's not fire safety.
Resistant.
Yeah, that. And so, so that would make the cost go a little higher, but he's estimating. Now he's got a drawing, he can give me some numbers. The only thing that he might do is make along the south wall, make the study carrels a little bit longer make a corner one in that southeast corner and then put one on the east wall, and that like wheelchair accessible could wheel right up to it. Other than that,
Which direction is north and south on this, by the way?
this would be, if it's sitting in front of you, this is east.
North is up.
North is down. Sorry, north is up, south is down. To the right is west or east, dang it. I'm trying to do you and look at this too. So
This
this
is
would
west,
be
this is
No,
east.
no, no.
east,
North is up.
yeah. East is on your right.
No big deal.
The printer.
Yours
I'm
is
just
copy.
struggling over here.
Here's the copy. I printed my own, that's why.
Okay.
Then he talked about taking out, if you look on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, it says remove planner for the study carrels. He was confused. That's gonna stay a planner. There aren't going to be any study carrels. The only study carrels would be on that south wall, possibly in the corner, and one on the east wall. And so then he might move the stairs going down to the north wall. And then we would have room for a group table there.
Because those diagonal lines are the existing deck
That's the
today.
existing that would be taken out and they would be, everything would be straightened. I don't know why they did diagonal, because you can't do anything with it. It looks really
It's
nice,
just
but you
artsy.
can't,
Yeah.
it's artsy, that's right.
Architectural.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this would make it more user friendly. We're trying to keep track of how many people ask for a quiet study area or actually go in there so that we have some data on. In 2 months, we had probably 20 people ask if we had a quieter place or individual study carrel type of thing. So, and we can keep on counting, but each study carrel, I thought maybe they would want a computer hookup and an outlet. And I talked to our IT guy. He said everybody's Wi-Fi now, so he would suggest getting extenders in their atrium, so 2 Wi-Fi extenders, so you wouldn't have to have that. We already have electric in there, so we just have to expand it for each study carrel, because usually people don't have to plug into port, but they do want electricity
For
because
charging their
to charge
laptops.
their laptops. So that would be the only thing that we would have to do, is we have it, but we have to extend it. to
What's the
each
area,
study carrel.
what's the area behind the walkway?
The area behind the walkway, right now, the walkway. Basically. From the south wall all the way to the north wall. The deck goes down to another floor. So the deck is here and that's the wasted space. Nobody ever goes down there. There is a stairway. And there's a bunch of plants. There's mulch type
Oh, I see.
wood chip.
I see the couple steps going down, right?
Yeah, yep. Right now, those steps are on an angle. And then it's just wood chips. There's a bench to sit on. Nobody ever goes down there. So that's why I started thinking, how can we make this more user friendly for our people to study?
So it's 200, it's half the space.
Yeah,
Bill, there is a deck from
Yep.
the upper level of the library that sticks out in that big opening there where it says existing deck line.
there's an upper deck.
Yep.
There's an upper
Yep.
deck
Yep.
that you're not seeing.
Yep.
How far out does that upper deck come over this?
It wouldn't overlap.
Not very far.
No, not at all. It wouldn't overlap.
It wouldn't go over the study area, but it goes over the bottom area.
It goes over the bottom area,
Yes.
but where he has the 44-inch walkway, that deck wouldn't overlap the walkway. You'd still have a space. There'd be a good space.
So the light from the skylight could get down to the bottom. You
Yes.
still had plants down in there.
Yes, we'll still have plants down in there, and we need a walkway down there, because behind that is a basement area where the old library and the new library were joined, and we keep things, that's a storage area for our gardener and the maintenance guy.
There's actually a sliding glass
Yes.
door underneath the deck. And you get
And you
in
can go
from
into that
there
basement
to
from
get
it,
into
too.
the basement
You
area.
can also get in from going up the stairs and down the stairs into the Carnegie area.
So our little study areas in the walkway and chairs, that's only about a 10 by 20 area, right?
Yeah. I am trying to figure out, I can't remember the exact,
The scale's 3/16.
it's like 12 feet, I think, from the windows to the east wall. Wouldn't you say
I would say
about 12
about 12 feet.
feet?
Well, I was just going by his 44-inch walkway and another 44 inches. Okay, say maybe it's 12 feet.
Yeah, and it doesn't go from the door, that's about. If you look on the south wall, you can see the window, the very first window, there's brick there, and it's
Yep.
about. From middle of the brick where he has that line all the way to the east wall is about 12 feet.
So 12 by 20 and new decking is 100,000. Out.
Mm,
No, new decking, we don't know what's under the mulch. So we have to figure out what's there. He has to put more
footings.
supports in. What did you
But
say?
he has to put
Footings in, and it would also include furniture, because we'd have 8 new study carrels. We have to have chairs that are eco-friendly. Wood won't last in there. You've got to have something sturdier because it's getting moisture. It's not regulated in there.
Plus, you're gonna have study carrels that are soundproof. I mean,
No,
they're gonna
well,
have to
they'll have
absorb.
sides. They'll
Yeah.
have sides on them, but they won't be enclosed.
No, I'm just saying, they're gonna have to be something so that the person sitting in the study carrel, who may be on conference or Zoom or something with someone,
Yeah,
so they can't hear each other. I'm thinking steel case quality
probably something.
Yeah,
and
along
that-
steel case panel.
Right,
type
right,
things.
right. But there would be just dividers. Wouldn't
is-
be a top.
This is not your commercial office we're building here.
No,
I'm not saying that, but
but it
it's
wouldn't be
still.
wood. It wouldn't be
This is a
wood.
quiet area for someone to
Yeah.
come in to use the library.
Right.
I didn't
And-
want to build it up so you could have meetings here.
No,
Right, and very seldom do we do have people go in there, shut the doors and do Zoom meetings or something like that. Somebody came in and had a court meeting that they didn't have any other place to go, so they came in there. But that's very, very few. Usually they come in, they have earbuds in and they're listening to a class or, doing homework and stuff like that.
but still, those dividers, even if they're not office quality, are not cheap.
Right, and I don't know, that's what Stephen is also looking into.
Now, what is the AA?
Oh, he's looking at this. Right here.
Yeah, I see it. I have no idea.
Ties to another drawing, is what it
Yeah.
does.
Oh, it might. This is his third drawing to me.
That's what it means.
And then I haven't heard from him
Another
since, so I wrote back and said, I hope you're not getting sick of me.
Is there heat and air conditioning in there?
No,
None at all.
none at all.
So in the wintertime, it might not get used much.
It does get used. They just wear their coats. I'm surprised,
Okay.
but the plants love it. So
Oh.
they go a little dormant in the winter time, and then in the summertime, it gets a little hot. But
Steamy.
people, yes, they just use it.
And there still will be room for plant.
Yes, yep,
And then see with this is our goal is to have about 3 quotes on this.
yes.
Is
and
Steve
again-
Klein gonna be able to quote this too, or?
He would consider this commercial and he does residential, so he wouldn't do this, I don't think. He was telling Tom about it, but he knows of a company that would, and I can get you that name. But when he said 100,000, he's guessing. And he told me, this is a guess. I said, I need some numbers for these people. And he said he'd do his best, but he couldn't do it.
I'll talk to him.
So, people I would think of, we get to have a quote would be, Gem Construction. Probably Nugent Builders,
And he had one in, out of Cedar Springs, I think, but I
Yeah.
don't know who.
so that would be, unless the board can think of another person you'd like to have quoted. but-
Well, if it's over 20,000, we have to put it out for bids anyway.
Right.
So we're gonna have to have some specs, decide what we want and put it out for bids. So
Right. But I don't know, if whether this would be adequate for specs or not.
No, it'd have to be more
No.
detailed.
No, this
Much
is
more
just,
detailed.
right,
So who's
this
gonna
is just a
draw
rough.
the specs?
Engineer.
We'd have to hire an engineer or an architect.
Isn't Tom an architect?
No, he's an engineer, working for an architecture company. That's not what he said.
Well, and if we eventually decide to eliminate the skylight, then you may need to put something in there in the way of, or want to put something that would be pull in air conditioner or something. I mean, I'm just saying it's feasible that eventually you could make this year round.
Right, if it gets used all the
If it
time.
gets used as much as, I mean, within a month, you had 20
Two
2
months.
months, 20 people using it. I mean,
I personally wouldn't want to get rid of the skylight. I think it's really quite beautiful. But I just think first quote we got was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you got rid of the skylights, a lot of the plants wouldn't survive in there. They wouldn't, then they would really.
and you
be
go to
indoor
plastic,
plants.
honey.
Or
Sorry,
something
I'm
shaped
not a
like
plant
that.
person. There's a reason I don't have them in my house.
Right, right.
But see, an engineered drawing could be kind of expensive for a project like this. I don't know if you really need an engineered drawing, like on some of these simpler things in the past. I'd have somebody like Gary Moody, do his thing, say I'll do this and then use that as so everybody's bidding the same project.
Yeah, but if it's gonna be that expensive, we may not have a choice.
Right, for $100,000.
Yeah, you're gonna
I'm
have,
guessing, can you get a township permit to do anything for $100,000 without a drawing?
No, not a place that's open to a space that's open to the
Right.
public.
no. And I would want an engineer when you're
Yes.
talking, it's gonna need footings, cause you don't, last thing you need is,
Yeah.
someone says, oh, sure, I can do that for 20
Well, I would
2,000
suggest
and the deck collapses.
and have the deck collapse.
Yeah.
So,
I would suggest Mr. Anderson, and I wouldn't go about getting other quotes for the engineering section of it. My opinion, he's done a good job in the library before, so, and I think he's done a nice job on the fire station remodel, so Robert Anderson. So
Is that who did this? Or
No,
that's-
Tom Fry did this.
Tom Fry did this. Well, we have
Out of the
our
goodness of his heart.
township engineer too. Bob Gunhart is our township engineer.
well, we don't hire our township engineer. He's not really this type of engineer, I don't think either. He's more of a, I don't know. Roads. Sewer systems. Municipal work. I mean, you need a kind of construction engineer on those. But
You need an architect and then the engineer will tell you it's okay, it'll work.
But so what the board wants to do, but if they want to pursue getting engineered drawings and
architect. Drawing. Right?
well, I think Robert Anders would be an architect, or is he an architect,
Not an engineer. Remember, he hires, he's got engineers that work for him that come in to do the engineering.
unless we just need an engineer, because our architectural plan is fairly.
I don't,
We're kind of putting the cart before the horse though, because first we gotta find out how much it's gonna cost. And if it's over 20,000,
Right.
Well, we
then
know-
we have to go.
We know it's
to the
gonna
next
be
step.
over 20,000.
Okay, so,
And as soon as Steve then gets me some kind of numbers, then I can pass it on to you.
All right. Well, is that okay with the board then?
yeah,
Okay. Well, that sounds good then.
All right, thank you.
You bet, thank you. And should I put that on the agenda then for next week, then,
next month.
Next month, yes, we're gonna keep trying until I get something.
Okay, sounds good.
You gotta send it to me sometime.
Okay.
Christmas is gonna eat up the rest of this.
Next item is order review reappointments. Bill Taylor, Chris Brown, and Mike Lamb have all agreed to want to be on it, which is great. And alternate appointment would be Dean Anderson.
Can we
So I
make-
guess we can take one by one. Is there a motion and second?
I just got a couple of comments. I know they've been on a long time, and I know Bill Taylor's retired and kind of. He's been on the fire board for years. He was in the town or the village. Nice enough guy, I like the heck out of him, but I think it's time for a change on some of these reappointments. I mean, a person like Dean Anderson, who is also on the fire board, I think would do an excellent job on it.
He has no interest in being a full-time member.
He said that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We
Bill
do,
Taylor would really like to do it. He's done it, an excellent job for all the years.
we usually try to have somebody on there with a construction background. I think that's what Bill represents. So if we're going to replace them, it should be somebody with knowledge of construction.
I don't have any problem reappointing the current members.
It's a 2-year term, so.
Yep.
It's a 2-year appointment.
There a motion to reappoint Bill Taylor,
I'll make the motion.
moved by Jason. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Marcy. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Pass 6-1. Their motion to reappoint Chris Brown,
I'll make the motion to appoint Chris Brown.
moved by Jason, appoint Chris Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Barbara. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Pass 6-1. Mike Lamb, our new member. Here's the new member. Their motion to approve Mike Lamb on the board review.
I'll make the motion to approve Mike Lane.
Moved by Jason again. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Marcy. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed. Pass unanimously. And the alternate appointment, Dean Anderson. Is there a motion to appoint? Dean?
I'll make the motion to appoint Dean Anderson.
Moved by Jason. Jason's pretty quick on the draw down
I'll
there.
second it.
Seconded by Marcy again. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, nay.
Who's the
No, but
nay?
no. I'm sorry. Opposed signify by saying nay. Nobody said nay.
Okay.
Look past you there. Historical Commission appointment, James Skaltetti. I give you a little breakdown of what he said. The Historical Commission would like to see James Skaltetti on the commission. I do know he does a lot of work with the commission as far as his metal detecting. And he does go quite often to the meetings. I think there's a meeting on Monday morning or something. I think you'd be fine myself.
Do we have to make a motion to?
Appoint him, yeah.
appoint? I'll make the motion.
And incidentally, Jason made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Barb. Incidentally, they told me that he would be filling out Adele. Is it Adele Jones?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
Okay.
think that was it. Any
Uh,
further discussion?
Obviously, the historical commission's all in favor of this.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
How many year term is that?
Or maybe it was Jamie Brooks. I think.
Yeah, there's 2 terms open. There's one that expires in March of 2023, and there's one that expires in 2024. I don't know which one is
I
Adele's. and
think it
which-
was Jamie Brooks. It was.
But is that,
I think it was Jamie Brooks, they said.
I don't know which is which. I guess we can look on an old list.
Yeah,
You have a phone list there?
I don't, but I think that's what they told me. Jamie Brooks. Yeah. Yep, I think that's it.
So I'd be finishing her term.
Yeah, finishing her term.
And I'll look up upstairs
Yep.
which term that is.
Just say her. Cover them both.
Okay, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Next item is the new deputy clerk's pay. Hand it over to Mercy.
Well, Betsy got offered a job at the county. So doing basically her dream job because she loves elections. She's extremely passionate about elections and because she's been volunteering a lot of time down at the county, helping with canvassing and recounts and stuff like that. And so Jared and Lisa have been very impressed with her and offered her a full-time job. Of course, with benefits and all that the county can offer, so she took it. But I have a replacement already. I have a very long time friend who was the deputy clerk at Sparta Township for years. And Jody Hyde will be my new deputy.
She'd be great.
So I just have to get an okay from you guys. I would like to, because she's had so much township experience, she knows how to do BSNA. She has worked lots of elections for us, so she does have some experience in the election department. She's basically about half trained. She just got to learn our processes and stuff. So I'd like to offer her $18 an hour.
Is that half pay?
What?
What? You
That
said
what?
she's half trained.
Yeah. Just saying that she's not gonna take near as long to train up as a newbie that has not been in the township or has ever done elections or anything. Cause she has a ton of township experience.
What was Betsy's salary?
$20.
20.
What's Mary Beth's salary?
20.
Same hours?
It's gonna be 2 days a week, most of the time. Betsy was working like 3 days a week, every other week, and then during elections, of course, she worked more. She usually worked 3 days a week, every week during elections, but that's all gonna change anyway. It's
Well,
This
considering
proposal
everything
too.
that's coming down the turnpike, is there any reason we're not starting her out at the same? Or is it because
Just-
Betsy was here longer?
yeah, it's just
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask.
I'm sure she'll jump up quite quickly, but she just needs to get trained in her feet,
Okay.
and make sure she wants to stick around and.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem
So-
paying her less.
The other thing is she is not a Sparta Township resident. All the other ones have been. She is not, but I've done this 4 times now and I just didn't care. They were Sparta Township residents. So
This is your fourth one.
this is my 4th.
And she doesn't have to be a Spartan.
She does not. I have to be, my position does.
Yeah, because you're elected.
Hers does not, but
Okay.
Did
With-
Betsy ever get our, I think we worked on the cemetery for,
she actually yesterday,
Yesterday. she finished it.
she finished entering all 4 cemeteries. They still have to be taking all her notes and go out to the cemetery and read all the headstones and make any other adjustments and stuff that we can from reading headstones. But we're
everything
not
else-
doing that till spring or summer.
part of her budget salary was
Right.
also part of
For extra hours.
Her
for doing
extra
the
hours,
cemetery.
hours.
Yeah,
working for the cemetery.
and she got through it. So
And she
that's-
got through it
When we budget-
yesterday.
Yeah, when we budget the salary for her, part of it was for cemetery.
Yes.
And part of it was for your assistant.
Yeah, there's still some things left in there that can't be solved until we're able to get out into the
Physically
cemeteries
look.
and physically look at it. So that's a project we'll do when the weather gets nicer. I'm not gonna know that right now.
Wander around cemetery.
And Jody and I can have to figure it out because she had it all figured out. She'd take a whole bunch of plastic spoons out there to mark where the rows were because the rows are all wonky out there and you'd lose your spot. And so you'd see Betsy and her spoons out in the cemetery. So we'll have to do something similar, I'm sure, because the rows are all weird and they just kind of filled in places like they were running out of room. So we're gonna make this a spot and it's gonna be number 400 and
Know this lady, but I don't.
you don't know Jody Head?
She's a very
She's
nice.
Baron
person.
Brock.
Lives up
You
by
know-
Crockery Lake.
Yep.
Very nice person. Her daughter graduated, kids went to Sparta.
Do you know Bill and Diane Baron Brock?
Yeah,
What's her parent?
okay. Yes, I know. Well, yeah, okay.
So anyway, I'm very excited to have her come. We've been friends for a long time and she's worked a lot of elections for me and she very willingly said yes.
Because her mother was also on the township.
Her mother was the treasurer
Okay,
and she was the
Yep.
deputy treasurer.
okay.
Are
So she was.
doing
very-
anything as going away?
Probation something.
I didn't know if you're gonna have anything as a thank you and goodbye.
Possibly, our clerk's Christmas thing is that last day,
Thursday will be her last day.
Thursday.
Next
So-
week,
This
Thursday?
coming week, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have to see if we can fit some.
Maybe something for lunch or-
something, yeah.
Okay,
But, yeah, it's,
so do we have to vote on?
we have to,
Yeah.
vote-
On her pay.
you guys
The
have to
salary.
approve the salary.
Okay.
I'll make that motion and approve her salary.
Moved by Rob to approve
18.
the salary.
I'll
Deputy
second.
Clerk,
Jason beat me
$18
to
per
it.
hour and then seconded by Jason. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Signify by saying nay. Passed unanimously. Other and informational, I really like the murals though. But
Did you see the murals on the side of the building?
I did not.
Our murals are up. on
They're
the
all
side of our-
free.
I did not see them. I will make a note to go look.
They look
before-
best.
Do we have
from
lights
across
on
the
the side of the
street.
building at night or no?
No,
No, but look across the street. Don't.
you stand right next to them, they're out of proportion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're made to be viewed from a distance.
But with that said, Jason, about asking about a light. Is there any plan to put any kind of light on that side of the, it's kind of dark.
it is.
It is,
you
you
know,
walk into
and I-
meetings, it's, yeah. you
My
walk back there.
concern is, vandalism.
Yeah, it's a good concern.
They have had the coating put on them so that if they do get vandalized, it can be, like, as far as
Graffiti.
spray paint and graffiti, it can be power washed off.
Okay.
See if
They
it's
have been-
pretty enough to light them up.
Yeah, you like them. Dave.
I haven't seen them, that's why I
I
said,
think your farm is
all
on
one.
there. I think your farm is on there.
pretty
It,
proud of
it-
that.
it looks a lot like your fireplace.
Yeah,
I don't know if it is yours or not, but it looks
it's
like.
really good.
If it looks really pretty, I'm sure it's mine.
It represents agricultural very well, the area agriculture. And also one really represents history quite well.
Dale, I had asked previously about that vacant building that's for sale off of by the park.
Yeah, I asked the historical commission that question at the meeting this week, but they didn't like it. They thought there was a number of building problems with it, as well as the fact that it's history of
Of what?
pollution.
It was a
that
gas
old?
station.
There's
the
a,
old
oh,
Osceola
oh,
station,
used
is
to
that what you're
be-
talking about?
Osceola Station and
Do that too.
it's quite, it is they claimed it's quite saturated, as far as
Yeah.
oil.
Okay,
Like there's underground gas tanks that leaked.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They wasn't interested in it. so.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I don't understand why they felt that was,
This could be hazardous. If you have to do a cleanup on a site like that,
okay.
you're liable.
yeah, that's all,
You're
that's all
liable.
under the parking. lot.
Change anything.
Pardon me? Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, well, that kind of explains that. Okay.
I don't know that this one, looking at it.
Mm.
Yeah, even for a house, that's kind of pricey.
So with that said, is there anything that we can do for the basement of the historical commission building? Because they said it's so damp and musty and I know
Already-
they complained
I
that
thought they got
Yeah,
dehumidifiers.
it already did a
Yeah,
dehumidifier
I
system.
think they're okay there.
In
Stuff
that
on the
building?
walls, yeah.
okay, because that was one of their complaints here at the meeting, that they said it was causing damage to stuff they had down there. So,
We've done everything they've asked for.
okay,
Yeah,
I
we
just thought I'd ask, because
Haven't
that,
been saying much about that.
that was something they brought up, and I thought, well, if there's a problem, maybe we need to look into it, but if we've done everything we can do,
I think it's.
if they're occupying the building, then they need to be the ones responsible for the stuff in the building.
Mhm.
We could put an addition on that library, have a historical wing.
Let's go.
That'd be 125, maybe we get the whole thing done.
Yeah, bump up that 100 grand. Do we have room?
You'd
Do
have
any
to
kind of
go-
addition in
you'd have
there?
to go into the park,
Oh, okay.
and any addition wouldn't be where the library is, it'd be down,
Mm,
because you walk around the back and it's
Lower.
level.
Well, do you want to update a little bit on the park, maybe the board members? We're looking at trying to expand the parking lot over there. It doesn't look like we'll be able to expand off the east. We probably are going to be looking at trying to pave the overflow parking at some point.
Which was originally gonna be another ball field
Yeah,
What do you mean when you say you can't go to the east?
we directly
because of
east of the
wetlands regulations.
wetlands area, directly across from where the concession is.
Oh,
way.
okay, you're not saying east like where we overflow right now,
No,
you mean east further to the south?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay,
And so we're probably gonna be looking down the road and we're working on applying for, are we a grant?
a Sparks grant from the state. Pay for improving the trails, connecting our trail with Rogers Park, and doing the parking lot.
We did have a little vandalism over there when all the snow was out. I think you saw it on Facebook out there where cars were spinning donuts and tore some trees, 3 trees up. They're gonna have to be replaced. But Bob Whalen called me tonight and there's a gentleman that's gonna donate some boulders to put in the middle between the islands. So they'll probably be installed tomorrow.
I could donate a few of those too, if you're looking.
Good
Yeah.
to know. Might be coming, Jason.
Is
How about
there-
we fill up those whole islands with just rocks?
Just not the little small, ones,
Yeah.
because Rob had to just shovel them all back in.
Right.
Yeah, we spent an hour and a half
The
sweeping.
cars didn't just bump it, they were spinning their tires in there, throwing all the rocks out.
No,
Yeah, you've got
Is
some
there
good
any
ones over
reason we
there.
can't put a gate?
Yeah, what I'm saying.
yeah, because they're doing construction there
Okay, well, they're doing construction.
on
The playgrounds.
playground equipment.
Okay.
There's some fencing has to go up.
But
And
could we put a gate at the entrance that can be open for the construction and at night?
no,
close
it'd be a
it
lot of
off.
mess, a lot of messing around. We're gonna look at some high density cameras that can pick up a little bit more. So
guys
that's
do
our
have
next
Wi-Fi out
move.
And some people do like to go out there and park and walk.
Yes.
Even when it's snowy, so.
You
don't
know,
want them parking along the
I
driveway.
can't tell how many times I've pulled into Sparta, grabbed something to eat, and I've gone up there and eaten.
That's what I'm saying, if you
And
had,
the people
if you had really
Yeah.
high resolution
And
cameras,
seen other people.
Yeah,
do the
we're
same.
getting some new
yeah,
cameras.
you'd be able to pick up all the ins and outs.
So are you going to post it?
What's
That
that?
there's cameras?
When we do get
Yeah,
them.
we already have them around the concession stand.
Yeah,
But
but
we're
we
gonna
need,
have some on the other end of the parking lot that will show cars going in and out, so we can get license plate
Maybe we
numbers.
can
Good
get the signal over to the homeowner there, so he can watch it. I mean, if there's cameras there, it would
Well,
seem
that-
like,
The police were investigating because of the damage, and they found somebody on Facebook who put pictures of his beautiful donuts he made in the parking lot out there
Wasn't that stupid?
and encouraged everybody else. It's a great place to go do it.
classic,
So-
yeah.
So the police paid him a visit. We don't have any proof that it was him. He says he didn't hit anything, that it wasn't him. Whalen suggested banning him from the park for life, but we weren't really sure how we could enforce
Pretty
that.
stiff,
So
huh?
we're sending him a letter asking him to
I-
volunteer to help fix things at the park and to take down the Facebook posts.
I think if he's dumb enough to put it on Facebook, he should be paying for the damage.
well, we don't know if he
You
did
You
it.
can't prove.
I can be honest with you,
The tree.
I saw his Facebook post. There was more donuts made from
he posted.
after his picture.
Well,
'Cause
yeah,
I was the
he
first one
made
to see it.
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
so but they just really made a mess of it.
Yeah,
At least my big fear, obviously, is down the road, someone's gonna go on the field, you know, what's gonna happen someday,
Yeah, we don't want to.
but we want to catch them.
Yeah. Really terrible.
I mean, you wouldn't care if this was just in the parking lot. No one would care. It's when you
Right.
start damaging stuff, that's the problem.
Yep,
Yeah,
right.
that's all I have.
I have a note from Chuck Mead. I guess because last month we increased our pay for our cleaning people, just because costs have increased of gas and everything. And somebody asked how much gas Chuck uses, so I asked him for mowing. He mowed 21 times this season at all 4 cemeteries and the library and the museum. He uses 20 gallons of gas each time. So that's 420 gallons of gas for the year. So if gas is $2 a gallon higher, that's an extra $840 he paid this year just for gas. So I think his contract is up next year. So something to
keep in
think
mind
of
for
next
that.
time we renew his contract. That's a lot of money that he's out because he pays. for gas.
I was gonna say, if you did $3 a gallon, that's $1,296.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying extra, $2 an hour or $2 a gallon extra than what it.
More than what it used to be.
Well, yeah, I just did $3 a
Yeah.
gallon. Which
Because
is
sometimes it is that
wonderful
high.
that Sparta is at 316, because we found it today in Grand Rapids as high as 361.
Hmm.
So applauding Sparta for being sensible.
Good deal. What do you?
Is there any public comment this time?
If I could, maybe just on your number 6, the remodel, number 1, my Jason library, my grandkids. It's beautiful, that's how we support it, but I would like to see a public RFP for this. Or if it exceeds 20,000 or whatever, but I believe that needs to be in the newspaper as all other municipalities and that, whatever you see it all the time, but it needs to be. That needs to be drawn. And engineers. That, yes, that, but then that should be put out for the public. Just to make sure it favors up to them, sort of individuals. It should be.
Thank you. Good. You have anything, Mary Jo?
Just thanks for getting the critter thing. Working. We were literally at the library board meeting one night, talking about this. And watching a squirrel scale the building after we cut the limbs on the tree, when you came over and had checked that out. And we thought, we can't fight this brick. Scaling it, so we all laughed and thought, we'll figure it out. And this was a problem when I started 20 months ago. And it was a problem before that, so it's been a problem a long time. And we had somebody in there, checked it out, thought we put a trap in, didn't, never came back, we never saw him again. But we still have squirrels. So this was great. And they're a good company, Critter Control.
Critter control.
Well, now I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Moved by Jason to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
All signify by saying nay. That's unanimously, and we're adjourned.